Rebus Forever here. I've wanted this game, I can't say ever since I first heard about it, because when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be like one of those new subcultures without a culture, like steampunk. When I found out that in fact it was a post-apocalyptic survival village town management game set in a new ice age, I was a lot more interested. Before the millions of steampunk fans all turn off in disgust, I should just add, I don't have any problem with the aesthetic, but you've got to admit that's all it was for the longest time. So without further ado, let's have a go at Frostgoth. You know, originally I was going to have a go at this whilst I was tipsy last night, and it was going to be, the pun was going to be Frost Drunk instead of FrostPunk, but instead it's hangover time now, and Frost Hangover, it doesn't work. So this is my second game. I got banished after the first game, or being banished was what made the first game end. Didn't go very well. Let's see if this goes any better.
The rulers of old.
I really want one of those. Owning one of those as your bride would make going to the shop excellent.
Until the frost stopped it all.
You know you're in very real danger when you're playing as the British in
They changed for all of us.
an ice age, because Britain's culture completely collapses anytime there's a little bit of frost. I'd feel more reassured trying to survive the apocalypse with some sentient orchids. Meanwhile, in like Russia and Siberia, people are just like, hey, let's go and hang around. This is... I'm not speaking very well.
Times.
Why are you walking though? You should all be on the big snow tractor.
The time has come to build the last city on Earth.
I mean, the premise of this game is basically just, can British people survive living in Russia? Everything is built around a central hub that helps keep everything look really organised and aesthetically pleasing. Folks are wanting some tents, and who am I to begrudge them? That'll keep some misery down. We'll need some wood. We'll need lots of wood. And we will need some coal to start the generator. Any convenient coal? Yeah, she blows. And we'll get the basic buildings put down and the generator running as soon as possible. So far, the game seems like other survival games, where you've got jobs and positions to distribute. You do that via clicking on the buildings rather than a centralized menu, from what I can see, which is fine. I mean, if you were having to deal with a really big sort of sprawling environment, you'd probably want a menu to do all of that on. But where you are playing largely within this crater, I'm fine with having to click around to reallocate jobs. I think that's fine. Of course, you know, maybe there is a menu and I just don't know it. We've got some objectives at the moment. Activate the generator, achieve a certain stockpile of coal. I'm going to turn on the generator now. That's a nice effect. The game looks lovely. I wish you could zoom in a bit more and see your little fellas trying to survive the cold a bit easier, but I guess you can't have everything. Like, my people can't have anything better than tents to live in. So you can see the radial sort of building method in full swing here. I'm going to put that adjacent to as many of these supply posts as possible. Let's get some more buildings down that I'm going to need. Medical post. I would like to build a cookhouse. I currently only have 5 wood, so that's just going to have to wait. The aim, so far as I can see it, is to make your hope as high as possible and your discontent as low as possible. Thus far, in my previous game, I had the opposite system going on, and that's what led to my banishment. You get a book of laws, which enables you to pick various different moral and societal paths for your culture to adopt. For instance, choosing whether or not to put the children in shelters and keep them safe, or to enact child labour. Different ways of disposing of corpses and dead bodies. A more sort of light approach to healthcare versus being quite happy to lop a limb off and do more emergency surgeries at a higher risk. I'm going to pick the fighting arena because apparently that will make people happier. Yeah, so we might be building a new culture after the fall of mankind, but we're not necessarily building a better culture. I really, really like... We'll just watch them do this. The way they clear a path through the snow, I think is a really nice touch. They could probably have graphically presented that a bit more clearly, but I'm on board for any element in that direction. Making your villagers look like they actually interact with the world is something you don't see in very many strategy games. They're just sort of on it. So there's a day-night cycle, as you can see here. Currently we're on free time. People work, sleep, and various other things at different times, which makes complete sense. I imagine you will be able to, via the Book of Laws, change that and make it so that people work harder at different times, or whatever else. I'm going to put 5 engineers in the medical hut, and hopefully that will keep on top of illness. Engineers are a special class of trained citizen. You don't seem to get very many to begin with, so I'm hoping there's going to be an opportunity to educate people and produce more. I mean, I say I'm hoping, I'm assuming, otherwise it's going to be difficult. Okay, so day begins. People are off to work. This is going to be the new cradle of humanity. I've got this. I mean, apparently soup will cause discontent. I quite like soup. Well, let's build a cemetery, because folks are going to need that.
Listen, everyone. New law is signed.
You see, I've got myself quite a lot of discontent. I think I might bring in child labour. That'll fix it. And you know, I mean that genuinely. Child labour, more time for the parents. Again, minus 40 degrees is just... I mean, Russians go to work in minus 40 degrees. I think British people would mostly just hang themselves. Oh, I'm not picking up coal in this. Fast forward. So you get these random moments with a timer associated. One of my people has become gravely ill due to frostbite. This will keep happening if people have to work in such cold. I see. That's all I'm prepared to invest there. Can't guarantee I will do anything about it. It says mild frostbite. I can manage that. Oh, another mission. Okay, they want me to do radical treatment, which could result in people having their legs taken off, and is high risk, but will also treat more dangerously ill people. So I'm gonna do that. Radical treatment.
Listen, everyone. New law is signed.
Come and get your arms lopped off. And this is another interesting part I've not really focused on because my town was falling apart at the point at which I built this building. But you get to build like a balloon and launch expeditions to try and recover members of your party that got lost because it was really badly organised apparently. They had a big land train and everyone was walking around the outside of it instead of staying warm inside. And oddly enough they got lost and died along the way. So you get to find some of those people that didn't have the sense to stay on board the vehicle, which should make for a dubious addition to the colony. Let's try and make life a bit easier for these people, and there will be a reason to branch out later anyway, assuming I don't mess up. Let's build a street for them to stay warm and such whilst traversing to the coal. And right click. Speed up time. Let's see if tomorrow my people are clever enough to use this road instead of trudging through the snow for the coal. Okay, so they are using the road. Well done. Well done. Well done you, well done you, well done you, you, and you. It would be fun if there was just like one trying to trudge through the snow that hadn't got the memo there's a new path. I want an idiot trait for some of my people. Probably I'll get that from the people we rescue that got lost. So heaters makes places of work bearable, whereas steam hubs enable me just to build a building. I think I want both. And you have 4 different tabs, so I am building up a stockpile of food rations. Each raw food can be turned into 2 meals. If you go here, and then you click on the temperature overlay, you can see here's warm. Everywhere else, probably from this point, I assume is a touch colder. So I don't know if you're supposed to be building close optimally. Okay, a lady, her family got lost on the way. I hope she hasn't heard the things I've said about the people that got lost on the way. We'll do what we can. This is a fantastically bleak game, and I love that. I've been thinking about almost exclusively 2 games for quite some time. This game and Industries of Titan, which looks like you get to be like a mayor of a Syndicate era style futuristic city. I should probably have just said Blade Runner there because more people know what Blade Runner is. So a big futuristic space city with flying cars and stuff. It looks really good. But, you know, we're not here to talk about Industries of Titan. Gosh, trying to play this with one of the worst hangovers in my recent memory. It's quite challenging. I hope I managed to not bore myself to death editing this. Oh, are people doing a fighting? Well, a man is standing still. Oh, there they go. They are actually fighting. Well done, devs. Nice work. Oh, ducking and diving. Go on, have it. Okay, well, I'm not really sure how that was resolved. Everyone just seemed to express simultaneous lack of interest. I guess I've been to places like that with people. Once spent like 3 hours trying to get to a secret rave that was in a scout hut and was one of the most depressingly pathetic things I've ever encountered in my life. Like literally everyone there had this look of regret on their face. Even the organizer. So, you know, I totally understand how they feel. I mean, to be fair, especially the organizer. Let's see if there's any laws. Okay, well, we'll just bring in that. It's a harmless, makes people less sad about death. Alright, no need to be snarky. Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You tell Beatrice. Jeez, what a downer. I can't think of a word for being negative that begins with a B. Otherwise, I'd be like Debbie Downer, but with B words. I think I just took the time to explain I couldn't make a joke. I suppose that's probably apparent if you've watched any of my videos. Oh, hang on, that was a joke. I mean, my discontent is doing pretty well, but I definitely need some wood. And the good thing about playing a game on your own is you don't need to worry about someone saying something about phrasing, Sammy, doggo. Oh gosh. I mean, I'm gonna cut off his leg and hope he thanks me later. I mean, without getting too bleak, I guess if he really doesn't appreciate it, he can probably fix the issue. So this is why it would be easier if we were Northern Europeans, because we'd have Dignitas all over that. Well, okay, you know, I kind of saw that coming. See, that's nice. That wasn't bleak. Well done, game. We've got no food, and someone died. And on that note, I'm going to stop the video here before it becomes any more incoherent, and before my hangover causes a full-blown migraine. I'm really enjoying this game so far. I think a lot of time and effort has been put into the various different mechanics, and it shows. I'm really eager to see the late technology tree, and I hope I'll get a 1-minute-ish review out of this whilst it's still a vaguely relevant game. Thanks for watching. Groups on the front page. If you want to sponsor There Being More Hangovers, there's a Patreon. And if I got anything wrong about the game, do correct me in the comments. Otherwise, nobody will know. If you didn't enjoy the game, also let me know. I'd be curious to know why. See you again.